In the words of Winston Churchill, "Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen." A profound quote, isn't it? It beautifully captures the essence of one of the most underappreciated strengths in human communication: silence. In a world that's incessantly noisy, where everyone is vying to be heard, silence, paradoxically, speaks volumes. It's a potent tool that can give you an edge in various facets of life, from negotiation to building relationships. Today we're going to explore this concept further through Rule 4. Always say less than necessary, taken from Robert Greene's insightful book, The 48 Laws of Power. This powerful law encourages us to harness the strength of silence, to learn to listen more and talk less, to understand the value of keeping our cards close to our chest. So let's delve into the depths of this intriguing law, Rule 4, and unearth the power that silence holds. Rule 4, from Greene's book, advises us to always say less than necessary. But what does this mean? Let's imagine a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle with thousands of pieces. Now consider each piece as a word you utter. The more pieces you add, the clearer the picture becomes. But sometimes a clear picture isn't what you need. Sometimes it's the mystery, the intrigue that holds the power. That's the essence of Rule 4. The rule suggests that when we speak more than necessary, we increase the likelihood of saying something unnecessary, or worse, detrimental. You see, words are like currency. The more freely you spend them, the less value they hold. And conversely, the more sparingly you use them, the more value they gain. Just like a rare coin in a collector's vault. But it's not just about avoiding blunders or maintaining value, it's also about control. In any conversation, the person who speaks the least listens the most. And in listening they gather information, understand perspectives and gain the upper hand. They control the flow of the conversation and in doing so, maintain an air of authority and intrigue. This rule reminds us of the power inherent in silence. It's about realizing that you don't have to fill every moment with words. That sometimes, it's the spaces between the words that speak volumes. So it's not about becoming silent or uncommunicative. Rather, it's about being measured in your speech. It's about understanding the weight of words, the strength of silence, and the balance between the two. Remember, in a world where everyone is rushing to be heard, silence can be a startling statement. It can command attention, demand respect, and radiate power. It's the quiet nod of understanding, the thoughtful pause before a response, the measured words that echo long after they've been spoken. Essentially, Rule 4 teaches us that silence is golden, and that the most powerful person in the room is often the quietest. Now that we understand the essence of Rule 4, let's look at some historical examples where this rule was applied effectively. Our first stop is ancient Greece. The philosopher Socrates, renowned for his wisdom, often used the technique of silence to stimulate deep thinking. He believed in the power of allowing his listeners to fill in the gaps, leading them to insights they might not have reached with more explicit guidance. His silence was not a lack of knowledge but a tool for fostering understanding. Let's fast forward to the 19th century. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, was known for his eloquence and brevity. His Gettysburg Address, one of the most famous speeches in American history, is a mere 272 words long, yet its impact has been immeasurable. By saying less, Lincoln was able to convey his message powerfully and memorably. In the realm of business, Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, was a master of the less is more approach. He understood the power of minimalist design and applied the same principle to his communication style. Jobs was known for his succinct product presentations. His ability to distill complex ideas into simple, digestible messages contributed greatly to Apple's success. In the world of sport, legendary basketball coach Phil Jackson often employed silence as a strategic tool. During critical moments in games, he would refrain from calling timeouts, allowing his players to figure things out on their own. His silence not only demonstrated trust in his team but also forced them to develop their problem-solving skills. These individuals, from different fields and eras, all understood the power of Rule 4. They knew that by saying less, they could stimulate thought, command attention, and maintain control. They knew that silence, used strategically, is a potent tool for influence and power. These examples illustrate the immense power that can be harnessed by simply saying less than necessary. Understanding Rule 4 is one thing, but how can we apply this in our daily lives? Let's dive into some practical ways to implement Rule 4, the law of less. First off, consider the power of the pause. The next time you're engaged in a conversation, Try holding back your immediate response. Give yourself a moment to process what's been said. This not only provides you with time to formulate a well-considered reply, but it also sends a subtle message that you're thoughtful and discerning. Next, become mindful of your words. The more you say, the higher the chance of saying something unnecessary or even harmful. Keep your language clear and concise. Avoid the temptation to fill the silence with unnecessary chatter. Remember, it's not about being silent, but about being selective with your words. Finally, practice the art of listening more than speaking. People often appreciate a good listener more than a good talker. By listening, you're not just showing respect, but you're also gathering valuable information. You learn more about the person you're communicating with, and this knowledge can be a powerful tool. The beauty of Rule 4 lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic changes in behavior. It merely calls for a shift in the way we perceive and use language. Remember, every word you speak has the potential to increase or decrease your power. Choose them wisely. To wrap up, we've explored the depths of Rule 4 from Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. We've delved into understanding this law, seeing it in action through various examples, and learning how to apply it in our daily lives. The essence of this rule is the power of reticence, the strength in holding back words. It's about letting your actions do the talking, while your words take a back seat. In the journey to power and influence, remember that silence is not just golden, it's powerful. Use your words sparingly and let your actions speak louder.